visit the police station to report crime. They just get on the telephone and they will be dealt to immediately.
Question number 5, Charles Chauvel.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question is to the Minister of Justice and asks, why has she declined to accept the Law Commission's recommendation, supported by the Privacy Commissioner, to increase the Privacy Commissioner's investigative powers, including by giving her the power to issue compliance notices and to conduct information handling audits?
The Honourable Judith Collins.
Mr. Speaker, the member is quite wrong.
Charles Chauvel.
Mr. Speaker, I wonder, point of order, Mr. Speaker.
Point of order, Charles Chauvel.
I took care to word the primary question. The Minister has had time to consider it. I wonder if she'd like to tell the House why the question is wrong.
The member will resume his seat. Now, the Minister has said the member's made errors in his question, has said was wrong. I can't know whether the Minister is right or wrong. The solution is pursue the Minister with incisive supplementaries.
Well, point of order, Mr. Speaker.
Point of order, the Charles Chauvel.
Primary questions go through an authentication process through the Office of the Clerk. So it's not as if a groundless proposition has been put to the Minister here. I do wonder, sir, whether you might just think about whether or not this is a precedent that we want to see followed in future.
Order. The process through the Office of the Clerk approving questions doesn't, just because the question has been validated, doesn't make the question right. There may be information, support material provided to validate a question, and the Clerk's office accepts that. But that doesn't mean that any supposed fact or statement contained in the question is correct. That's up to the Minister. The Minister has asserted pretty emphatically that something in this question is not right. Now, it's worth pursuing that to find out what it is. Charles Chauvel.
Supplementary question, Mr. Speaker. To the Minister, without the powers that the Privacy Commissioner says she needs to do her job, how can the House have any confidence that the Privacy Commissioner will be able to fully investigate high-profile or important privacy breaches, such as the question of whether the Minister or anyone in her office improperly disclosed the Bronwyn Pullet email and associated information?
The Honourable Judith Collins.
Well, Mr. Speaker, there are, in fact, a range of responses that the Law Commission has suggested that we make in terms of the Privacy Act. However, I note that the member who's just resumed his seat, that his government was in office for 9 years, didn't address them.
Order,
but the Privacy Commissioner has...
Order. I invite Charles Chauvel to repeat his question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The question is, without the powers that the Privacy Commissioner says she needs to do her job, how can the House have any confidence that the Privacy Commissioner will be able to properly investigate high-profile privacy breaches, such as the question of whether the Minister or anyone in her office improperly disclosed the Bronwyn Pullet email and associated information?
Honourable Judith Collins.
Mr. Speaker, the member is yet again wrong. The inquiry from the Privacy Commissioner is, and all I can really say on it, is it's relating to privacy matters in ACC and what's happened to particular emails and other documents. It's not specifically about my office. So that's wrong. But the Privacy Commissioner already has powers under section... Do you want to hear it or not, Mr. Speaker?
Order. Order.
Hear it or not?
Order.
No. The Privacy
Commissioner
already has a range of powers, which she set out for the Honourable Trevor Mallard and myself, and they are obviously broad powers and roles under Section 13 of the Privacy Act. Also, Section 90, which is to freely obtain information and make inquiries. Section 91, to require information evidence to be produced and to summon witnesses. And Section 76, which is to require a person to attend a compulsory conference. There is an obligation to comply with the requirements of the Commissioner set out in Section 92. There are also other relevant powers. In fact, there's the entire Privacy Act, and I suggest that member reads it.
Jonathan Young.
Supplementary to the Minister. What is the government already doing to implement the recommendations from the Law Commission's review of the Privacy Act?
The Honourable Judith Collins.
Oh, Mr Speaker, the Government has already acted to address the immediate need for better information sharing for public service delivery through the Privacy Information Sharing Bill, which is expected to be passed later this year. The Privacy Information Sharing Bill will improve the rules around the collection, storage and use of personal information while ensuring there are safeguards in place to protect an individual's right to privacy.
Supplementary question.
Charles Chauvel.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Why is the Minister exacerbating the Privacy Commissioner's inability to press fully for answers in this matter by invoking the public interest defence in this House as a ground for refusing to answer legitimate questions from members, thereby further preventing relevant information from entering the public domain?
The Honourable Judith Collins.
Mr Speaker, the member's quite wrong again. This is actually an issue for the Privacy Commissioner, and as an independent body, as she is, she needs to be able to be free to conduct her investigations without the sort of lies and manipulations that people have said in this place.
Point of order, Mr Speaker.
Point of order, Charles Chauvel.
Mr Speaker, I invite you to reflect on whether or not that answer was in order, particularly the final phrase of it.
I heard what the Minister said, and a member cannot accuse another member of lying, and I'm not sure the Minister actually did that. She referred to order. She referred to lies and things in this place. And I don't like ruling more and more stuff out, but it's certainly on the margins. I accept that absolutely.
Point of order.
Point of order, the Right Honourable Winston Peters.
Mr Speaker, with respect, if that was not offensive to this side of the House, then it was a description of her own behaviour she was talking about. That's the only way she could survive the challenge from the honourable member over here. He says it was offensive.
Order, I've heard the member, and I think the member's point is not unreasonable. And I think the Minister should get to her feet. Please withdraw and apologise.
Thank you. I withdraw and apologise.
I thank the Minister. Charles Chauvel.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. To the Minister. Why is she further trying to prevent relevant information from entering the public domain by threatening news media and members of this House with meritless defamation proceedings? And just what is it that she has to hide?
The Honourable Judith Collins.
Mr Speaker, the Minister of Justice has no ministerial authority or responsibility for that, and that member should know better.
Question number 6, Colin King.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question